All right, we're back. Hello and welcome to the stream. I think I updated the title. Yeah, whatever. It's fine. It should be good. All right. We're gonna keep on rolling. We're gonna do Geysers Club 27. Yes, which is named for how many hours it took him to do it. So almost doing the 24-hour challenge there. Something I've considered doing a couple times and just never bring myself to do because I don't know. So yeah, this sounds harsh, and obviously, like, I'm assuming there's a time crunch. Something happened with this one. Like, you just didn't have time to do a full course, or something along those lines, and be like, like, I gotta make something. All right, we'll do it quick and efficient. Crashes. That'll do it. Um, but my point being, like, I know Geyser's work. He is probably one of the, like, top couple designers in the community for sure. And like, I'm sure this is going to be perfectly, like, solid, great golf course. But, like, again, just looking at it from the first hole, you can already see, like, yeah, this looks like it was like, I'm gonna do something quick. I'm gonna do it simple. I'm gonna do it real efficient. Like, a lot of the little touches and, like, the love that goes into the details are just missing a little bit on this one. But yeah, I know this was a tough contest for crashes, as, like, we lost a lot of people who just straight up couldn't design. I know, like, Pat toughed it out and finished a course, which absolutely props to him for having to deal with the amount of crap that he had to in order to get that club out. Like, I know, Ben, you were in a tough spot too. But I think Pat said he had something like 200 crashes or 100 plus crashes while designing his major course, which is just insane. So I really don't fault anyone that struggled to either put the time in, or, yeah, you had well over 200 as well. Yes. So yeah, like, I am fortunate enough that over the last patch, I think I had maybe 2 crashes total. There we go. At least they fixed it now. And I know some people have had a couple little complaints here and there about issues, but yeah, it seems like it's mostly fixed, and hopefully that'll bode well for design contests in the future. But yeah, this contest came at a really tough time in that, like, hey, 2K, your game is essentially unusable for designers, and therefore most of them are just gonna not design. Like, so, hey, like, a design contest happening when half the community just can't do anything in the tools means that it's gonna be a little downbeat, and that's okay. Only took them over a year. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, hey, I'm not affiliated with 2K anymore. I don't have to defend their decisions. Honestly, even when I was affiliated with 2K, I certainly didn't defend their decisions, because, God, they make some stupid ones. But yeah, to be fair, that wasn't really a stupid decision. They just couldn't figure out what the problem was, and it was hard to troubleshoot. So I get that. It's frustrating as a consumer, like, or like a longtime fan of this game, that uh again, it's a small studio. I get that they don't have the resources to necessarily, like, do big, massive content updates and things like that, but just, like, the complete lack of any sort of communication ever. Um, they just kind of kick the game out the door and then disappear for 2 years until they kick the next game out the door. Um, and it's always felt like these games never quite get the polish or love that they need, and so they're usually just broken for large parts of the game release cycle. I don't know. Hopefully that'll change, but now that somebody works for HB who actually understands how the designer works and why. So when do we expect 2K25 again? I have absolutely zero information on that, but uh Probably I would say like October 2025 or 2024. Like that's kind of when they just release all of their games. Every 2 years in October or November ish. Like that's a pretty safe window to guess. Again, don't get me wrong. Like like I'm happy that like the remove heavy rough tool was great. But also it's just like that's a little, like it's awesome. That's a huge designer thing, but basically Panda had to push for that. Like it's never something that 2K or HB would have thought of on their own until they actually again got somebody competent in house to tell them how to, like here's an easy thing you can add that's so good. And like again, the content creator packs, awesome. Like I am not gonna fault those at all, but also they're just purchase assets. It's not something like HB didn't work on those. They just bought them. Which again is awesome. Like thank you for adding more stuff to the game. Like, I love that. But, you know, yeah, spline updates great. And again, I am hopeful that 2K25 will, you know, that now that again that they're hiring somebody who understands their game better than the rest of that studio does, that will have a little bit more direction and like sense of purpose to the next game, especially now that they have some competition. And it's the HB could kind of faff about and just like meander in random directions and just kind of do things without any reason or thought when they were the only game in town, and they're going to make some money off of it. But now that they have actual competition with EA, and in a lot of ways you know I think EA's game is kind of dead in a lot of ways. Again, I don't know, like in terms of like I don't think it kind of came and went, and like I think had some mixed reviews. Like I don't think anybody hated it, but I also never played it because it just like I looked at it and went like, this is fine. It doesn't do anything for me. Um, so like competition might be a strong word, but uh, yeah. But in other ways, like EA completely caught 2K with their pants down, and like smoked them in terms of like how you advertise a game, how you make visuals work. Player count is less than 3,000. Yeah, what's the player count for this one? Out of curiosity, like just because of the designer, this one certainly has more legs because it's the core community is going to play it more. But I mean that also doesn't really mean much in terms of sales on the scale that they need it to. I'm on hole 11 and I've barely talked about this course. Um, but then again, like it's fine. Like it's like to quote myself from the last playthrough. It's a course. It's in the contest. Like Dreiser knows what he's doing. He's not going to build a bad golf course. But this one also just feels like it feels rushed. It's like he built a very like solid serviceable golf course that obviously just because there's not the same amount of time into it is not going to be quite to the same level that we would expect from Geyser, for all of the reasons that I've spent the last time you saw was about 20K. Wow, that is a much bigger discrepancy than I was expecting. That's awesome. Like again, like I love HB. I love their game. I want them to succeed. But that also doesn't mean that I can't recognize that they've spent the last 5 years continually sitting on their own balls. Uh, like it just yeah. So like again, I want them to succeed. Like I'm rooting for them, but they make it so damn hard. And again, like I should say I am also grateful for all of the opportunities that they've given me to get paid to do stuff in this game. Yes, exactly. They're sitting on their consumable balls. God, I hope those go away. Like, I get that that was probably pushed from 2K of like, hey, you need to have a consumable thing that, would encourage people to spend money on this game. And then the community just went like, fuck that. Of course, they also, you know, in some way, it's kind of good that HB has never really like been great at figuring out how to do game design things because if they succeeded in making that a core part of the game that was necessary, I think this game would suck so hard for it. Like that feature is stupid on a level that is like unfathomable. It's so bad, but you can also entirely ignore it, and it doesn't negatively affect your, You wonder how much real money people spent on those. I mean, I imagine basically none. Um, well, to be fair, you don't need to spend real money on them. So, like, there is that. But it's more of the if you want to play competitive rounds with the highest tier consumable golf balls all the time, you will be spending slightly more money in in-game currency than you take in. So you either have to go grind in between matches or what do you want to call it? Uh, yeah, you either have to go grind or you drop real money on it. But like but they also didn't make a product that would appeal to casual people that would get sucked into it. Like the only people that play this game are the hardcore fans that have always been there, and like I don't think any of them are like I don't know a single person who's spent money on refilling their wallet so that they could fill up on consumable golf balls. Like the people who actually grind out competitive matches, like I can think of like Jives, G Dog, all of those people are people who play a ton of this game anyways and have just excess currency to blow on such stuff. Um, New game runner who they stole from EAF will have a significant impact. I mean, that'd be nice, but with most things 2K related, I will believe it when I see it. You don't think most in TGC, but people complain all the time about three clickers using the top consumable balls in ranked play. I mean, yeah, for sure, but it's also just like a lot of the people who do that are kind of in the TGC crowd, and like the meta is kind of silly and annoying, but like again, I don't think anyone's funneling money into it to pay for their consumable golf ball habit. Like it's not ranked play in this game is not interesting enough to warrant that. And even the really dedicated ones, like again, I think Jeff is the one who goes and grinds out to Albatross in ranked play every time the season resets. But like that, he can do it in like 3 days. Um, so like again, it's not in depth enough to warrant like and again, and you get nothing for it other than just like yeah, I did the thing. Like I don't think that many people are grinding for it, and therefore like a fraction of those people would be the kind to spend money on it. Anyways, let's see. Do I want to do one more? I might do one more after this. Um, Actually, let's see. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to split this up into 2 sessions. So maybe I cut this one here. Anyways, I'm not gonna get enough extra courses done today so that I can't so that I can finish it in 1 session. So I think I need to use the restroom and I need a glass of water. So we'll just call it here. But thank you everyone for tuning in. It's been good having you, and we will catch you next time. Until then, have a good one.